Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Man, this is the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. We are here tonight. You are listening to 100.9 on your FM dial. This is KWTN, the Big Voice Radio. And like I said, this is a Big Voice Sports Talk Show. This is episode number 33. I am joined here by my co-host, my big brother Buffalo Bass, Quadruple B.
What's good? What's good?
What's good? He's over there crumbling up some bag of chips right there on the microphone, as you can all hear. Okay, so, hey, Buff, tonight we got a good episode tonight. You know, the last few episodes that we did, man, I got a lot of good feedback from them. There's a lot of young athletes that listen to the show.
Yep.
And, I guess more and more getting known in the community as being called coach.
Yep.
And so a lot of the younger guys come up and they kind of visit me and they say, hey, man, we listened to your show last night. And so these young ones are listening to the show. And so I'm really kind of glad that we're kind of spinning off into the, in the off season of the major sports,
Yep.
and doing these spotlights for the scholar athletes out here in our community,
Yep.
And so the past couple of weeks we had some really good ones, Had some really good ones, a lot of inspirational stories. And so, what do you think about the ones we had in the past?
Well, I like listening to them because, like you said before, that we all kind of know their story up to a point, but we didn't really know behind the scenes and kind of stuff what's going on with them. Like with Pilar's, when we had Pilar Aldridge on, it was real. It was real good to know, like to see, hear what happened to her behind the scenes stuff, and then she give up playing ball for a while, and then life happened. She had a baby, and then she ended up going back and started, finishing up playing ball. So
it kind of shows in their story, like those connections they made out there in their past as they're going. Then
Yep.
she hung it up for a while. And then that connection she had, one of the coaches reached out and said, hey, you still want to play ball?
Yeah.
Let's go,
Yeah.
And so, and then the similar stories with the other athletes we had on here too,
Sure.
Just, really kind of happy that we're doing those kinds of things here on the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. One thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to find inspiration for at least one kid, if they're listening.
Yep.
And if it reaches out to more, then that's good too. Then we're doing something,
Yep.
Tonight, is a really special one for myself here. We have some special scholar athletes coming in tonight from the Boys and Girls Club. And first, I'm going to introduce this young man here. He is the unit director of the Boys and Girls Club here in Winnebago, Mr. Denton Porter. Say hello.
How's it going out there?
All right, so Mr. Porter, he recently joined the staff down there at the Boys and Girls Club here in Winnebago, and now he's kind of leading the pack down there and trying to get all the summer and early school season activities and events, stuff like that, all planned out. So I know that there's a lot of stuff going on, which we'll get into later on in the show. And then, ladies and gentlemen, also I'm really proud to introduce this young man. I've known this guy all my life. He all his life, I should say.
Yeah.
But a young man really made me proud. He went out to play some sports here locally at Little Priest Tribal College, and then went on to finish up his schooling at Wayne State. Mr. Gregory Bass III.
What up? Hey, good to be on today. Happy to be here. Yep, graduated from Little Priest in 2019, and in 2021 graduated from Wayne State College. Go Cats.
Go Cats and go Warriors.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey, so, I was trying to find out if I was going to do like a sporting introduction to you guys, like how the Bulls guys comes out with the song or something like that, but, I figured, just do a little introduction to you guys, kind of give you guys a little highlight, and then let's not waste any time and let's get into this interview here. Okay, so one of the things that we always kind of talk about, in these interviews here is we talk about the guest's upbringing, because we think that the upbringing is really important to kind of start off your guys' stories, because all the things that you're doing right now, you you learn a certain thing as you were growing up, whether it be study habits or, you know, how you take tests and how you take notes and how you practice hard for your sport or whatever, you know, all those little things, you know, you learn them at a young age. And so I think for now, we'll talk to Mr. Porter, and we'll talk to you first on this topic here. So up on the topic list, it says tell us about your upbringing. So what we want to know is just tell us your little story, you know. And I don't even think I mentioned what sport you played, but you can go ahead and mention that as you're talking about yourself here.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, I went to South Sioux City High School. I guess with like school and stuff, my habits with all that really came natural. I was kind of a natural student. When it came to sports, you know, I was on and off. When I was growing up, it was majority basketball this, basketball that. And I played with a team here in Wall Hill, Native Jays, coached by Jason Sheridan, growing up. So I'm pretty familiar with the faces around Wall Hill and stuff. They had pretty successful high school careers themselves too. And then when I got to high school, kind of took me a while to get used to kind of balancing school and athletics, because school does get harder, athletics get harder as well, especially at the levels you keep taking. And then kind of fell into love with baseball my freshman year of high school. Kind of got to start my freshman year pitching, and pitching got the win, you know. And for me as a freshman, you know, winning at the varsity level that early, enjoyed success that early, you know, really drew my addiction towards baseball.
Yeah.
And I started training more towards baseball. Did a lot of camps, did a lot of individual stuff with my coaches after practices, before practices. Just really grew into a baseball player, I guess you could say, first. And I still did play a lot of sports. I did play tennis, played 1 year football, and then played 4 years of basketball, 4 years of baseball.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you hung up your shoes after you fell in love with baseball. No, that's good though. That's good. Yeah. So what was your freshman year? Was your very first year playing baseball, or when did you start playing baseball?
No, I played baseball since I think I was 6 years old in Omaha.
In Omaha?
Yep, in Omaha. And
so it was every year after that?
Yep, every year.
Oh man.
And because I think we started travel baseball my 5th grade year. And we weren't good. We weren't good at all. My dad kind of just threw a team together, played a little bit of travel baseball. We didn't really do so well up until about our 2nd, 3rd year. I think our 2nd year we did win a tournament in Omaha, and then our 3rd year we started really rolling, and then our 4th year we were pretty good.
That's good. That's progress. You can tell the progress. I mean, you can't tell at the time, but when you look back at it, like, man, you know, we started off, we only won one game, you know, and then a couple years later, then you look at your record now, you're like, oh man, we're playing a lot better now. So back then though, like, well, I heard you mention your pops. You know, was he your coach?
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, my dad was my baseball coach for the most part. He did coach me in basketball 1 year too.
Okay.
Majority baseball.
Okay, and then so then your pops kind of brought you up in baseball when he was a younger one. Then he had to hand you off to somebody.
Yep.
Who did he hand you off to?
So he handed me off to the high school coaches. My high school coaches were so-so, but as time grew on, I kind of got, I had a coach that really I bought into. And that's like my advice to the younger generation is play multiple sports so you can get multiple perspectives from other coaches. Yep. Don't be so one-minded and be like, well, I'm only going to play for this coach. I'm going to play only for this coach. Yeah. And, you know, if you make yourself a well-rounded athlete, you know, go play whatever, your football, your basketball, baseball, because it's going to be gone, really. We get told earlier, some people get told later when they get to hang it up. And I think if you take advantage of the sports you can play them.
Yep. That sounds good, yeah. Yeah, so then that coach you're talking about, the one you bought into, who's that?
His name is Alex Groth. He still coaches to this day. Yeah. And I got kind of a big full circle around. He quit coaching baseball my senior year. And so he quit coaching, went to North High, and then full circle comes around this past year in baseball when I was coaching for Siouxland Christian. we got to meet up again and play against each other.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Did you get him?
Nice.
We did not get him, unfortunately.
Good question. Good question, you say your name of your coach again?
Alex Growth.
Oh, shout out to Coach Growth out there, inspiring young ones, and fine gentleman here turned out to be a good ball player.
Which one? I don't know if you mentioned it or not. I was checking the text right there on my phone. But who's your old man?
Alton Porter.
He pitches softball for
Always.
That's his squad.
crazy curveball. He throws underhand.
Yeah.
Underhand curveball. Yeah, good. That's crazy. Using that medicine on it.
Yeah, shout out to Pops too out there, and shout out to you, Elton.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was you coming up as a young one. So you get into high school, you go to South Sioux, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you played all 4 years baseball.
Yep.
Well, did you guys get any conference titles and state titles?
No, we really didn't get anything like that crazy. I mean, we did compete really well. My junior and senior kind of came together, especially during Legion Ball. We were 1 win away from state, and then we kind of choked a little bit and lost. And then my senior year, again, we just had to get through one more game to get to state. Couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it.
Was you pitching all the time, or did you play multiple positions?
Yeah, I played. So I pitched was kind of like my main position, and I played short, third.
And then of all of those, you like pitching the best?
I'd say in high school, yeah. College kind of switched around.
Oh, okay.
Found a new love in a different position.
All right. So then, while you was in high school, then did you get a lot of letters, from different colleges, or did you like already have the link up with Briarcliff?
So the big thing was my 8th grade year when I was playing high school ball. I guess I did play 5 years of college or varsity baseball, but my 8th grade year, crazy story was I was an 8th grader. We were up in where's Mount Marty? What school? Where is that at?
Yankton.
Yeah, we were playing up in a wood bat tournament up there. I had myself a pretty good tournament, and then I remember their college coach came up to me and asked me, "Well, what grade are you in?" I'm like, "I'm only an 8th grader." He's like, "What? Really?" He's like, "You're already playing like ahead of your time." He says, "He's just like, yeah, we'll probably be in contact with you."
Yeah.
And then
slipped in that card real quick.
Yeah. And then another story was I traveled up to Chicago and played in an all-star game with kind of the best players from Nebraska, and it was a crazy experience. We ended up going 6-1. I pitched one of those games against, I think, Team Missouri, something like that. And again, that was the Midland coach. Again, asked me like, well, if you ever have any options, here's our number as well. And, I just think like baseball took me on this big journey of meeting a lot of these coaches, because I went to, like I said, a lot of camps. I went to Creighton. Yeah. I went to a Nebraska camp. I went to Briarcliff camp. I went to Wayne State camp. It's just getting out there, getting your name out there, and coaches will find you. No matter the talent, they will find you.
Then like nowadays too, kind of a little easier for coaches to watch these athletes because everything's being live streamed now.
Yeah.
Social media is way out
and
there.
then it was just a matter of a few years too, because we're gonna kind of switch over since we got kind of walked you through high school. We're gonna walk this young man through high school. Mr. Greg Bass III. Say hello again.
What is going on?
Okay, so we're just gonna kind of mirror off that same kind of a storyline that we just now talked with Denton about. From being a youngster, we're kind of talking about school and sports and kind of what got you through it, and maybe even kind of tell us a couple stories of some hardships that you had or something like that. So just go ahead. The microphone's yours.
Okay. So what's going on, guys? Here. I guess I gotta just take it back.
Take it back.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Kindergarten, first grade, didn't really like sports. I don't know if I really like sports. I don't know. You guys probably know more than I did, but kindergarten, first grade, I was one of those guys that was always on the floor crying around, didn't really care about basketball, didn't want to shoot the hoop and stuff. Had to get carried off by head coach over here, Mr. Bass.
There's plenty of video evidence.
Yeah,
on
there's
that
video
too.
evidence. You guys could do that on your own time, but I really didn't start falling in love with the game until about 7th grade. That's whenever I figured out I was a little bit bigger than other people, a little bit stronger, and I figured that, okay, this is probably something I want to pursue. So 7th grade, 8th grade, we were coached by Mr. Bass over here, and like I said, Mr. Bass coached us our pretty much my entire life, even up into high school, except for my senior year.
Yeah.
So 7th and 8th grade, I want to say we only lost 1 or 2 games in our whole junior high career.
Their time span of career,
Yeah. So I want to say we only lost 2 games. We had a really special team. Mr. Trey Blackcock, Brandon Blackfish.
Yeah.
We had Sonny Neff, Bo Gilpin, Landon
Easy.
Frenchman. Yep.
Someone said Trayvon played and gets all
Trayvon.
these rebounds all the time.
Trayvon
That's what
had
he
a
says.
lot of rebounds, he said.
He said.
No, I'm just kidding. Trayvon's my guy. But yeah, so 7th and 8th grade, I figured we had a special team, and freshman year we got into high school, and freshman year actually was a hard time for me. Me and my dad moved down to Lawrence, Kansas, where I went to Lawrence South Junior High School.
Yeah.
And down there, it's actually 9th grade. You were a freshman during that time. I want to say that was 2009.
Yep, 2009.
So I was a freshman in 9th grade, kind of weird. So I went down there. There's a lot of hardships. My dad was in college. Financially, I don't know. On the air.
Now we had to take a hit for me to try to finish school, you know?
We had to take a hit. There's times when I had to sneak into my dad's dorm room and I have a place to lay and stuff. And then also a special shout out to my coach, Jeffrey Barrage, who allowed me to stay in his residence while he was going to school down there. So I did have support down in Lawrence, Kansas, but there was a lot of hardships financially for us. And I guess that was my hardship story. Going into high school, though, we ended up coming back after that year. Sophomore year is whenever I kind of took off, and I figured I really liked the game. I started becoming more and more athletic. You guys probably know back in the day I was able to jump out the gym. I probably dunked on one of your Degas or something back in the day.
Yeah.
I almost guarantee it. But so like sophomore year, that's when I took off, and me and my friends, Trey and Aaron, we actually got the opportunity to play in Switzerland under Team USA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we had a week trip out in Switzerland. Really enjoyed ourselves out there. Spent a few days out in Raleigh, North Carolina.
A week trip, a week long, or was a week?
It was actually 10 days. Okay, so the first 3 days were in Raleigh, North Carolina. Where we had our practices. We got to train with NBA trainer Michael Lancaster, and we got a lot of games, and I guess we got put on our teams at that point. So after that 3 days, we traveled from Raleigh to JFK in New York City, and then all the way over to Zurich, Switzerland.
How long a flight was that, Goose?
Shoot, I can't remember the hours, but I do know that it was a night flight. And we actually got on in the evening. We got over to there's a whole night flight, right? Mm-hmm. We woke up and it was daytime. Mm-hmm. So we had dinner, then we had breakfast on the flight, and it was a pretty long flight. I want to say it was about 8 hours, but could be wrong. But I do know that was a long flight. A lot of jet lag. But yeah, that was one of the best experiences of my high school, I guess, career in terms of sports.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a really interesting. That was a fun time too, you know, because I remember. I'm gonna give a shout out right now, okay? But I remember before you went on the trip, you had to raise a certain amount of money.
Oh yeah.
And so we had a huge fundraiser down at the Blue Slab downtown, and your Choka Johnny Snyder. That's my shout out is to Choka Johnny Snyder. Rest in paradise, Dega, you know. But he fried fish and chicken for us that time. Remember? He brought like I don't know how many pounds of chicken and fish he brought up, and he just fried it up, and we had a big old meal, and I think we almost raised about $1,000. And then when we took that money over to him to pay for the chicken and the fish and stuff like that, he said, "Nephew," he said, "put that away. Don't insult me like that." I did that for my grandson.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Keep on going.
No, big shout out to Choka over here. But yeah, it was a good time. And funny story about that is we actually we got back from Zurich over to JFK, and we had to switch airlines. I can't say if it was United or Southwest or whatever, but we had to switch airlines. we actually missed our flight. All three of us. It was me, Trey, and Aaron. We missed our flight, and we actually had to stay in, I want to say, the Bronx. Kind of a rough town of the Bronx. Back then, we were kids. We didn't have much money. Grandma Pearl over here, I want to say that she's the one that kind of took the took the hit at that time and got that hotel room for us. But we had to catch a different flight for that next morning, so we had to stay there. It was kind of sketch, but we made it through the night, and then we got home safely. So that was a pretty crazy time.
Who was crying? Who was crying?
Yeah, just imagine those little high school boys out there.
That's what I was just thinking too. Like you were just, that was after you and Trey's freshman year, and I think after your sophomore year.
Yep. I want to say we were 15 at that time.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Actually,
Where was it?
it was your freshman year, in between your freshman year and sophomore year, because Aaron was a senior, was your freshman.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, yeah, that even sounds
So
better.
hey,
That even sounds better, right?
yeah, so man, so that took you past your freshman year and stuff like that, and tell us a little bit about more of your little basketball and school career there in high school. Oh, look, there's some visuals up there. Oh, that before we leave that topic of Switzerland, there's a video or a picture up right now of your guys' USA basketball team, and you forgot to mention your coach right there, the guy in the black shirt.
Shannon Brown.
Shannon Brown.
Yeah, I want to say there's another coach there, and his name was Phil. Phil
Jackson.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about what his last name was.
Donahue.
But during that time, it was I guess it was ritual that people bring something from their communities and give it out to other people because you could see people are from everywhere. I had people on my team from Indianapolis, California, Idaho. Everyone's from everywhere. This guy down here, actually in the left corner, he's from California, and he's actually Native American too. Yeah, he was Native, California tribe. Can't remember which one, but people are from everywhere. So it was ritual that we gave. We were to give something from our community to another person, and I remember gifting Coach Phil. It was I want to say it was like a beaded medallion or something like that. I don't know if you remember that. It was pretty
Where
cool.
you get that one from?
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. For those of you out there that are listening to the show, if you want, real quick, like you can Google Shannon Brown. He used to play for the Lakers, and he has a couple really good highlights from his short career in the NBA.
Crazy bunnies.
Yeah, man. So yeah. Okay, well, let's get to this college stuff. Okay, so Mr. Porter, we're gonna get back to you now. So he decided on going and play some baseball for Briarcliff, which is just right up the street here from Winnebago, up in Sioux City. So me and Buff used to go to basketball camps at Briarcliff, and so we know the gymnasium in the basketball part of it.
They know us too.
Yep. And then but baseball or any other sport up there, we don't really know too much about. So maybe you can kind of tell us a little bit about Briarcliff baseball.
Yeah, well, before Briarcliff, I actually committed to Hastings, Nebraska.
Okay.
Went to Hastings for a year and a half, and I think that was kind of where I felt the biggest hardship in my playing career.
Okay.
I came into that program thinking I was going to play, college. They make you all these promises and stuff of, oh, yeah, you're going to come on and play for us right away. Well, little did I know that they had an all-conference shortstop and all-conference third baseman that were just pretty good, just really good. And, going into that, I went there, expecting to play, and I was just like, man, I just feel like I'm not going to play at all.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm down in the dumps. I don't know what I'm going to do. Kind of fell out of love with baseball my freshman year, Called back to my parents a lot, being like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And I just remember my mom being a constantly in my ear, just stick through it. And then the year got done, played the JV circuit with Hastings that year, and then thought about transferring to Briarcliff over that year, and then didn't do that. Decided to go back because they offered me a big scholarship to go back to Hastings. Nothing really changed there, so then I transferred over to Briarcliff. In between my sophomore year.
Okay.
What year was that though? Like back when was that?
So that would be, I transferred to Briarcliff start of 2019.
2019. Okay, so that was before the portal. Well, they don't have portal for the smaller colleges. That's just D1 when you do the portals and stuff.
Yeah, well, I set it out for that season
Oh,
because it was
okay.
in conference.
Yeah,
UCs
yeah.
and Briar Cliff are in conference, so.
so that's what. Okay.
Yep. But as for Briar Cliff, I had to sit out my sophomore year, so that was basically another scratch on 2 years of playing. And then going into my junior year, found another hardship. A physical kind of like pulled my back, and then I had to get surgery on that.
Oh man.
And again, down in the dumps, just thinking about, man, I don't know if I'm ever going to be healthy. And I had to sit out until, I want to say, the beginning of November. Came back in November, had to basically make up time because we start in August and we basically go until the school year's done.
Yeah.
And again, just wasn't myself physically, mentally, especially when I was playing, my mind was elsewhere. And I was just like, I don't know. And if we go to that Briar Cliff picture, if it's on screen at all, right there, that guy right there is the man right there. That is the man of baseball and NAI baseball. That's the biggest mentor I have, especially in college. Pulled me through a hard time, especially playing-wise. His name is Marcus McCorkle. Marcus McCorkle was a two-time All-American from Georgia Gwinnett. Just a total stud at baseball. 2016, 2017, they were both in the World Series. And he was just around winning baseball, and he played second base for them in those World Series and stuff. And like I said, an All-American.
Nice.
Really taught me the ways of like how to carry yourself as a college baseball player. Taught me the skills that he was taught, and it made me step my game up, especially my senior year. Before going to my senior year, I think I was like 175 pounds. And then when I came back, my senior year, I came back like 200 pounds, ready to go. Did all his exercises, workouts he told me to go. And when I came back, my coaches were like surprised.
Yeah.
They were like, whoa,
Oh,
totally different baseball player. And my shout out goes to that guy for making me fall back in love with the game and stuff.
Well, hey man, maybe your coach, maybe he's gonna be listening to this at some point. Maybe he's listening right now. Just go ahead and give him a shout out right now if you want to.
Oh yeah, Marcus McCorkle. Thanks, brother.
Ooh. So then baseball got you through college. Is that one thing that did you never have to worry about eligibility? You just had once you start going to school, you was there.
No, like with school, again, I took the weird route. Kind of was a science. I was good at like the science, math, all that
Okay.
stuff. Never really fought eligibility. Always stayed on top of my studies, or tried to at least.
Yeah.
But my junior year is where I switched my major. I remember going in on one test for my what I'm studying for and all that.
Yeah.
Just I remember looking at that test and just like a foreign language.
Yeah,
Just like
it didn't make sense no more.
No, I was just like, nah. I was
Yeah.
like, I can't do this no more. And I was like, this wasn't me anymore. And so I went to go talk to my advisor. He's like, you want to switch now? He was like even surprised with me. He's like, you want to switch now? I'm like, yeah. I just don't feel like this is the route I want to go. And he's like, okay, well, we'll give you like a week or two and see if you can find something else. And then I ended up talking with the weightlifting coach at Briar Cliff. His name's forget his first name, but his last name is Kiefer. We used to just call him Kiefer. Had good talks with him, and I did a lot of internship stuff with him. I think I did 90 hours of work with him through the one semester, and he taught me a lot of stuff too, like how to take care of your body, how to properly live, what's a good workout recommendation, all that stuff. And that's what I like to do now. On my off time, especially away from the Boys and Girls Club, and I always tell the people at the club, if you want to get in shape, whatever, I could do that for you. I'll get you a program written up for you.
Yeah,
But,
I heard you dragging my son in the gym.
Yeah,
That's good.
Getting him in there.
That's good. You guys need to drag me in there.
It's a lot of dragging.
It's never too late, though. Never too late.
Yeah. So you changed your major, and did life seem a little bit easier after you did that in your classes and everything?
Yeah, I felt more relaxed, felt more calm. Again, I didn't figure stuff out until my senior year of college. That's my advice. Sometimes you don't even figure it out until your senior year.
Yeah.
And for me, my senior year was the most fun I had too, and with baseball, academics,
Okay.
everything just felt smooth because, going from not playing basically for 3 years with just people just being more talented than me,
Yeah.
and then battling injuries.
Well, you probably had a whole different outlook to your senior year because all that other stuff was behind you. Now you're like, hey, I put all that stuff behind me, and I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm like, let's go.
Yep,
let's get it.
That's exactly what I did.
Man, that's good, man. And so then you finished and you graduated from Briarcliff with what?
A bachelor's in human performance.
Human performance.
Yep.
Man,
Nice.
so well, congratulations, because just recently I saw your pictures of graduation on your Facebook post, and I know you're popsing them. You know, I got him as a friend too, and it pops up on his timeline, and I get to see all that stuff like that. And then over the course of the last couple months, and I found out that you got the job down there as a unit director. So I was, oh man, we're bringing some good young talent, not just these smart kids, but these guys that have been involved with sports. So I'm really excited to and hear what you guys got planned for the Boys and Girls Club for the near future. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So we're gonna switch over, and we're gonna go ahead and interview my son Greg here, and kind of ask him the same questions. Now, we went through high school, and maybe you can tell us the little story and the few of the hardships that you went through for the college and to get where you're at right now.
Okay, so recruiting process for me, pretty much there was two schools. I had Iowa Central Community College, and that's located out of Fort Dodge, and we had Grand Canyon University. Now that one was down there in Nevada. I don't think that they were D1 at that time. I want to say that they were D2. But those are my two schools. It was me and my friend Manuel. We were planning on going to Fort Dodge together and playing basketball together. So whenever we took our official visit, it was me and Manuel. We drove over together. We played pickup basketball with the team. I actually liked it, and Manuel decided to go to Marshalltown Community College. So we did go the JUCO route. And then for me, things didn't really work out for me. At Fort Dodge, I decided to, walk away from basketball, walk away from school. I kind of figured it wasn't me at the time. And I guess I just had a lot of things going on mentally. It was kind of draining for me. I didn't understand school. I kind of had culture shock. So during that time at ICC, I decided to come back. And when I came back, I found a job. And I was working actually security at Winter Vegas. So I guess we talk about hard times, right? So for me, it was like I was looking at that paycheck after a while and realized like this isn't it. Like I have to do something. And I have a big shout out to my wife Sanaya and my friend Corey Cleveland. During that time, they're like, "Why don't you go back to school? Little Prius has this basketball program going on. I'm sure that they could use you." And I was like, well, I don't know if that's even really what I want to do. If you guys see this picture right here, I actually played my own brother, Aspen LaPointe. He played for ICC whenever I played for Little Priest. So got to play my own brother on the college game. So you can see my mom; she's pretty happy.
Who won? I can't remember.
I want to say we got him that time.
You guys got him?
We did.
You played him once? Just once?
Well, I want to say I played ICC the year before and we lost. So 1-1. This is actually Little Priest's first win in program history. This was against Minnesota West.
That was at Worthington, right?
Worthington.
Yeah, I was there. Let's go.
Yeah. I played at a pickup basketball game, and there's a few coaches down there. Just at Whirling Thunder. I can't remember who exactly the coaches were at that time, but Wombly was actually sitting down there, and he was vouching for me to play. Got on scholarship, and I played my 2 years there.
Nice.
Yeah, I always forget how many games you guys played. I remember you had a little highlight reel. You know, the young guys always make those little highlight videos and stuff like that. Man, you scored a lot of points when he was playing for Little Priest. I didn't even really know it, but he had a lot of threes.
Yeah, anytime you see Sean Walker, he has the craziest story about Little Priest. So we played down there in Central. I had 24 first half points.
Yeah.
Got the ball like 0 times, and then I got 0 touches that second half. He tells it all the time. Anytime he sees me and Denton together, hey, remember you scored? Yeah. So there's a lot of points there, but honestly, it wasn't really about this the basketball part of it for me. It was more about it's more about bettering myself and really just bettering my future and my family's future. So it was awesome playing the sports, but honestly, it wasn't like everything to me.
That's
you
the
know?
pick of the walnuts.
The walnuts.
There we go.
Yeah, there's
Your 3-on-3 team.
the picture they're showing now on the visual is the 2013 Winnebago Indians seniors right there.
I think that could have been the year too.
That should have been the year.
That should have been the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always talk about it. There's a lot of regret in that season and stuff. Whenever we see each other and whatnot, but
There's new coaches.
yeah, it was.
It's
There was a lot of things.
hard to have new coaches when you have the same coaches going all the way up, and then all of a sudden your senior year you get new coaches. It's tough no matter what, you know.
Who was your coach your senior year?
It was Nelson Wilson, Jeff Barrage. Jeff
Yeah,
Barrage's
and-
first year.
Jefferson.
I mean, they're good coaches. It just they were new coaches coming into a program that was, you know. Remember we fought from getting aced all the time, first round of the conference tournament, to getting to the conference championship game, going double overtime and lose by 3.
Right.
And that's how close we got, and that's how much better we got. Though, you know?
Is that the one right off the tip? You got the dunk right off the tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that
That
one.
was that
point.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that was a
Okay,
long
well,
time ago.
so you know, good story all the way up until we got where we at here at the end of basketball season, and you're looking at graduation from Little Priest, and then I know that you had some kind of a choice to make to keep on moving. So let's hear about that.
Yeah, so graduated from Little Priest in 19. During that time, I decided basketball really wasn't it for me, so I just decided to go on academic scholarship over at Wayne State College. Grades were awesome at Little Priest, so shout out to Little Priest. They paid for my whole tuition to attend Wayne State College, where I received my bachelor's in business administration. Got that done in 2 years.
Good boy.
Yeah, you know, I remember. I'll just talk a little bit about some of the things I remember. But I remember when you were in high school, you didn't really like schoolwork and stuff. Like when you were a freshman and maybe part of your sophomore year. But then your junior year, something happened, and you know what? I don't even know what happened because you never told me what happened. But something happened where you just you would start bringing homework home. I would notice that you would be, when I'd be at Woshkapi, you would be in there, you know, busting your butt into work when you're by yourself in a different classroom, either catching up or doing extra study or something like that. Something happened, but I don't know what it is.
You kicked him in the butt is what you did. I remember.
So,
Yeah.
no, but something happened, but I know you wasn't always a fan of doing your schoolwork, but you turned into it. So
Yeah.
maybe you have a little story for the kids out there listening that, you know, that maybe aren't, you know, 100% fans of the classroom.
My big thing is look at the big picture. So for me, I just looked at the big picture during that time, and it was like, well, what do you really want to do whenever you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? For me, I actually wanted to be a personal trainer. I wanted to be a physical therapist. That's kind of why I chose the science route at first. I ended up changing my major probably halfway through. But during that time, it was just like, well, I just want to better myself. So I was trying to be a sponge during that time and learn as much as I could. So I was really trying to pay attention in my classes. I wanted to take the AP classes. I wanted to take the advanced courses in high school and stuff. So during that time, I just wanted to really kick into gear. And I really wanted to play college sports because I kind of seen my potential. And I was like, okay, well, this is what I got to do. That's whenever I start kicking into gear in high school, yeah.
Well, that's good though. That's really good, you know.
I noticed something too when you guys got a little older. I noticed it with Step Boy Trey. You mentioned Trey Blackhawk a couple times today. I noticed that you guys were both kind of like you guys still had that little kid mentality. Like even right out of high school, you guys still kind of going. I mean, you were thinking about college and you're doing this and that. It seems like soon as your son was born, same with Trey. As soon as his son was born, then something kind of snapped and made you guys kind of think of your priorities and stuff like that. So then it seemed like the bigger picture started coming too. Because I mean, you guys are both doing really good right now. I mean, strong young Indian men, whole chunk men. So,
Yes.
so I mean, that's what I noticed. As soon as you guys had you guys as children, then it looked like you guys kind of got the, kind of kicked yourself in the butt, I guess you can say, and say,
Yeah.
let's get it going.
Well, remember that picture they pulled up a little while ago, the 2013 team. all 5 of those boys right there that are on that team, they're all doing great things in their community, you know. And saw Trayvon in there. Trayvon, he's an art teacher at the school now and a head basketball coach up here for the boys. Yeah, right there. Trey's doing big things. Got his degree recently. He's where's he at?
He's director of the
Farms.
Yep.
And there's Greg in the middle. Landon, actually, he's a power man. He travels all over the country and sings with the Whitetail Boys. Man, they win all over the place, man. He's seeing all kinds of different. He's experiencing all kind of different tribes and their cultures and stuff like that, and doing his thing out there. And then Manny's actually going to school too. What's he going to school for? Is he trying to be an RN or something?
He's trying to be an RN.
Trying to be an RN.
Right now he's working at Carl T. Curtis.
He's working at Carl T. Curtis, and he's thinking on continuing on his coaching career. And I believe that it's kind of up in the air whether he's going to be here in Winnebago or down in Wall Hill, but he's going to continue on.
Well,
so the whole group right there, and they're missing Sky Aldrich up there too. Sky guy was in that group too, and he just recently graduated from UNL.
2 rings.
Nice.
That guy graduated from South Sioux though, so you got those 2 rings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the old man, he actually must be keeping him busy at Carl T because you don't see him on Facebook riding LeBron all the time. So.
Yeah. Okay, well we got we got you through Wayne State College, man. I really that was one of the proudest moments of my life to see you graduate and walk the stage over there. And shout out to Logan Ali.
I look just like Kuhn when he was that age.
Yeah, so when I get my master's, I got to take one of both my boys. Shout out Baby G as well.
Yeah.
Baby G is pushing me to be a better man, a better professional, a better person. So
yeah,
I love my family, man.
That's good stuff there. Good stuff there. Hey, so now this kind of leads us into the latter part of this interview, where we're going to get into what's going on with the Boys and Girls Club. But first, maybe kind of give us a little bit of background about you and the Boys and Girls Club, Greg, and then you can kind of, as you get to after the background, you get to the part where you guys hired this young man right here, and then we'll get into what's going on.
So, full story, I started kind of my professional career up at the higher education office. I was taken under the wing of Raina Merritt. She was my immediate supervisor.
Auntie Raina Merritt.
Auntie
all of our auntie.
After the other day, Auntie
Raina, who hit down at the Lucky 77, all that money. Auntie Raina, all of our auntie. Gaga.
I don't know if that's out there in the community yet, but now it is.
It is now. It is now, auntie.
Okay, so yeah, I was taken under the wing of Raina, and in that time I was the education specialist for the Winnebago tribe. So I went into the school, taught curriculum that was college career readiness, and in that time it was actually grant funded. Grant was running out. I had 2 years left on the grant, and then in the same time I had Wambly Doza, who was actually the CEO during that time at the Boys and Girls Club. He reached out to me and he's like, hey, there's this opening down here. I'd recommend you to apply. And I actually was a little skeptical about it and a little apprehensive to even apply for it, just because I felt like it was such a big responsibility. And it is a difficult job, and everything that goes into it. I don't know, I was second guessing myself, and that's whenever I had the discussion with you at your office. I don't know if you remember that, but
I do remember it.
I was like, what do you think about this? I was considering applying, and what'd you say?
I told you, I said, think about that job, and if there's somebody that's more qualified or better than you at this job, then go ask them to apply for it. But if you can't think anybody who can do this job better, then you apply for it.
So I took that and kind of ran with it, and I ended up applying that day. I ended up getting the position. I want to say that there was a lot of applicants for it, and a lot of qualified applicants. So during that time, I was taken under the wing of Wambly, and during it was actually kind of a difficult time, because I got hired on, I want to say in October, and then that following year, it was actually COVID. So I was the one that had to do all the layoffs during COVID. Super uncomfortable. Had to get things going right away. And I had to get my experience going right away because I wasn't an experienced manager going in. But, just little simple things that were in COVID. I learned the Zoom meetings. I learned kind of how to communicate with people that were, I guess, had more experience than me at the CEO level, the board level. So I ended up getting my experience pretty fast, and that was kind of my unit director journey. And there's a lot that goes in between the few years that I was the unit director. Wombly ended up getting a promotion within the Boys and Girls Club of America. I want to say he is a director of organizational development. Big time job. He gets to impact a lot more communities than just one. I want to say that he has 13 in his portfolio, and so he gets to impact those clubs. And big shout out to Wombly. He kind of took me in, and one of the big things with him is he taught me, and this is what I'm going to do with Denton too. He kind of just taught me how to do certain things whenever it came to business, the business side of it. He didn't have to bring me to all the meetings that he went to. Meeting with the CFO and tribal council, and uncomfortable meetings at my young age. It was uncomfortable for me, but sometimes you just got to be uncomfortable to make things happen. So got that experience, and now I just go into it, and I guess I just go into it easy. So kind of took the CEO job. Really enjoy what I do. I enjoy seeing the happy faces at the club. I enjoy the impact that we make at the club. I enjoy the staff and everything that they do, and there's just a lot that goes into it. The other day I had a 130-page document I had to submit, showing Denton, and I was like, look at this. He's like, okay. He's like, okay. So yeah, there's a lot of work. So I'll let him get into the kind of the programming side of it. If you guys can follow our Facebook page, it's Boys and Girls Club of the Ho-Chunk Nisochichi. If you guys can see it on your screen, we got Carlos Trinidad right here teaching our kids. But yeah, I'll let Denton go ahead and talk on his side.
With the Boys and Girls Club, we got a lot of stuff coming up, especially programming wise. And I think the first thing we got going for us that's upcoming is our kind of after-school program for the kids during the school year. Date isn't finalized, but we're looking at sometime before the first week of school. I believe the first day of school is August 17th.
Yes, August 17th.
August 17th, so sometime before that week happens, so the week prior to that one. We're looking to get like a sign-up going, kind of like a ice cream sign-up thing for the kids, and kind of make it a fun experience for the kids and stuff like that. And then we do football for the youth here at Winnebago. I'm still new to all that stuff, and I've been asking Greg a lot for help and stuff on all the stuff, how to like set up things and what's the right way to go about it. He's been introducing me to a lot of faces that I've never seen, or and I'm just trying to make a good first impression to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning myself, and this is kind of like my first project as the unit director. Greg's been kind of light on me this summer. Kind of jumped in at a crazy time with the whole summer camp stuff going on, and and just like he said, the staff, they're grateful for the staff, they're all their helping hands that they do for us. It makes our job easier. Being busy, this is my first managerial job, and I'm still getting comfortable, I guess. There is stuff that you have to do on a day-to-day basis that does need you to put your big boy pants on.
Yeah.
And, I'm still getting used to all that too. And, just happy, got a good role model right here, because he's been there, been through it all, and I'm still excited to what we got going on, because we got way bigger plans coming up too.
Yeah, especially because you guys are still going to be building a brand new building out there in the new 40 acres out there too. So I'm actually really excited about that building there, and then maybe in a little while, Greg, you can give us an update on that. But one thing I was going to say too is that just to kind of throw a little advice to you and kind of get you to relax a little bit, especially about the football stuff. You're gonna get help. There's parents out there that want to help, and there's parents been helping, and some of those parents got more than just one boy playing. So, you know, I think everything's going to be just fine. When it comes to the football thing, you could not be so worried about it. The only thing you worry about is getting those pants back.
Yeah, no, we do. We need those pants back.
Any of you parents out there from last year that your boy still got his pants from last year, bring them in. They need those. They need all that equipment back so we don't have to be keep on getting extra. Putting in a line item to buy some more stuff. You know, bring those pants back.
Yeah.
And I bet you got some helmets and pads out there too. So bring all those in. We need them at the Boys and Girls Club, guys.
Yeah, I seen a few laughing emojis on our pants post.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Hey, those are the ones that got them at the house. They're in their laundry. They're in their laundry in that old dirty clothes pile that nobody washes. So
They're wearing them to school.
yeah,
I'm actually I'm gonna share I guess the little progress that we have on the building to Bethany, so she'll pull it up here. And that way I can give the community a little update on what's going on as for our building.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and send that over to her. But
Cassidy Rain, jumper.
Yeah. So Boys and Girls Club is going to be starting up their after school program. How many spots do you guys have available for that after school program, or is it kind of like whoever all signs up?
It's gonna be first come, first serve.
First
Usually
come,
take
first-
about 30.
About 30. Okay.
and the thing with that is like we're gonna put it all on socials. We're gonna put it onto the big screen. We're gonna try to market it as best as we can. That way we don't have people complaining that they didn't see it. But there's gonna be one solid date for signups, and normally during those days you want to get there that day because those spots fly.
Yep.
And to keep it fair, we kind of just do first come first serve.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure and keep your eyes open for that little promo on the sign up for after school program for the Boys and Girls Club, because they're only taking 30 spots. So one question though, before we move on from that subject. So when the new club is built, will that number of 30 expand the after school program?
Oh yeah.
It will expand it. And then
We're looking at
how
expanding.
much do you think, like just a ballpark figure?
I would like to have at least 200 to 300 a day.
200-300 a day?
At least, yeah.
Man, ladies and gentlemen that are listening, you guys hear that? It's going to go from 30 positions for an after school program, and then once the new building is going to be built, then it's going to be increased to about 200 to 300, so they can take as many people many kids as they can.
Yeah, the big thing is right now we have to turn kids away, and with our new building, our $6.5 million building, we're not gonna have to turn kids away, because our waiting list it's pretty deep right now, and that was just for the summer camp, but now we're going into ASP, and now we're gonna have another deep waiting list. So the big thing for us and my biggest, I guess one of my biggest goals is just to be one of the top Native clubs in the region. And there's a lot of good clubs, and I'm not knocking anyone, but for us, I think that for my plan is just to be one of the best whenever it comes to programming, and staff development and budget and fiscal management, everything that goes into it, resource development. So whenever you guys see those committees, those subcommittees advertised on our Facebook page, we want the best people to apply for those. So we have the safety committee, and we do have 2 open right now, and we have the resource development fundraising committee. We have 2 open right now. So I'd recommend, if you guys have experience in fundraising or safety, or can bring value to our Boys and Girls Club, like there's big things that are going to go on here, and this is our new building concept, and we're going to be in the Village 2.0. So huge building, a lot to offer. Don't want to turn any kids away. So if you guys can bring value, I'd say go ahead and apply.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
That sounds really good. That sounds really good. So excited about that new project. I know that one's been something that's been long overdue, you know. And I know that when I first found out that you guys got the new building, that was like a dream come true, you know. Because man, me and Buff, we did remember our boys club back in the day. It was the Scout Center back in the day, and it was still in the same building that they're in now.
Yeah.
You know, and that was when we were kids. I remember mowing lawns. I believe I was in the 6th grade, mowing lawns with Randy Decora. He was like the head troop of the Boy Scouts back in the day. And we had that fundraiser. We went around and mowed lawns and stuff like that. I was in the 6th grade back then. And we used to use that same building during now. So when I say long overdue, I mean long overdue. Long overdue. All right. Well, so let's see, what time is it now?
6.
Oh. Okay, so while we're coming to a close on our interviews here, and first and foremost, I want to say thank you to both you young men for stopping in here, sharing your stories. I mean, you know, you guys had your shout outs that you had for your coaches and your wives and mentors and all those people. That's one of the things that I like to hear on this show is who inspired you. That's the, you know, and then, you know, since you got free airtime, just give them a shout out. You know, maybe they're gonna listen to this, and maybe, you know, maybe they didn't know you felt like that. So that was real good shout outs you guys had. Is there any other shout outs before we end this one here?
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay.
I kind of missed my mentor, Fitzgerald Grant. I don't know if you guys know him, but super awesome guy.
Coach Fitz.
Coach Fitz. So there's a lot of people that went through his program at Sanford Center. A lot of MAYB, a lot of AAU basketball going on during my youth, and big shout out to Fitz. He's a mentor to this day. So he's actually the executive director of Sanford Center in Sioux City, and he reaches out and I reach out and we just talk, and he's a big mentor right now. So big shout out to Fitz Grant. Shout out to my family. Shout out to the Boys and Girls staff, and also shout out to our Boys and Girls Club board of directors. There's a lot of people on there that's making a huge difference, and they're looking forward to what we have going on here in the future.
Good one, man.
Good.
Yeah, I got a couple shout outs too. I guess first and foremost, my girlfriend, Noelle, and then my newest addition, Benito. I just had him in March.
Oh, no man.
Congratulations.
No man.
Yep. And then secondly, I want to thank all the coaches I had, kind of like my big role models, Jason Sheridan, my dad, Alex Groth, Marcus McCorkle. Just re-thank all of those guys again. Third, you know, give a shout out to the staff at the club. And then I got 2 more shout outs. Shout out to the Hawate softball team. They play this weekend at the Bagel tournament.
Let's go.
Yeah, come out. And then the last shout out I got is I guess just for Winnebago athletics in general. If you guys ever go to the high school level, I have coached high school baseball for 5 years already, so I already know the ropes. So if you're looking for somebody, I'm here.
That's it.
That's
Get it. Let's get it.
Hey, what about you, Quadruple B? You got any shout outs tonight?
A shout out to the Winnebago people coming to stand number 3 this weekend. Let's go.
Let's go. Stand number 3. All right, I got a couple short shout outs. Shout out to my wife, my daughter. They're on their way back from a conference down in Oklahoma City. They're listening right now on the road. They're probably in Kansas somewhere. Shout out to you ladies and your co-pilot down there, Idell. Shout out you guys listening to the show on the road. And then I'll give a shout out to my athlete of the week. I'm not like Buff and give it to all my kids and grandkids.
You should.
And cousins and
Because you
stuff
got
like
all
that.
of them out there anyway.
So tonight I'm going to give my athlete of the week to this young man that's sitting with us that shared his story about his upbringing and his time at high school and college and graduating from Briarcliff. I'm going to give it to this young man right here, Denton Porter.
Appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
In this last week, there wasn't too much sports going on, so I couldn't even try to even pick one.
Well, you got a nephew sitting right here who told you his whole story.
Well, I ain't seen him grow up, so I don't think he gets this one yet. Hey, if we can pull that video up of him on the ground, then I'm going to go ahead and hand him this thing. So someone need to find that. Someone send that.
You guys go ahead and do that on your own time. I don't want that on the air.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give y'all a shout out, man, for just listening and putting up with us over here at the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. You are listening to 100.9 FM on your dial. This is the Big Voice Radio, KWTN, and we are out.